Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from Group 3 who would like to present about the plant costing. So here it is, the contents that we will discuss later on. Plant costing is used when assessing product cost to determine the entire company overhead. This methodology is straightforward and is only recommended for a business selling a single product or for those using departments that are professionally similar. There are some aspects that contributing towards the plant costing which also include the cost estimation, capital cost of equipment, and operation costs. Cost estimation is a specific topic and profession in its own right, but in order to determine whether between the project alternative and maximize the construction, the design engineer must be able to make a approximate estimate of cost. In addition, cost estimates are often prepared at the various times throughout the life of the project. The basis of the knowledge available during estimation planning phase. So the cost of a capital refers to the cost of building a new plant or modifying and adjusting a chemical manufacturing plant. The cost of capital often includes important considerations such as the cost of the property and the cost of the main machinery and other related points. In addition, estimate of capital costs are necessary to demonstrate a inconsistent trend between the accuracy of the estimate and the cost of the estimate. So, operational cost refers to the expenses incurred during the normal operation of a facility or a company, including labor, materials, utilities, and other related costs. So these costs can again be split into fixed operating costs, variable operating costs, and capital charge. Besides it also includes the raw materials, maintenance, and utilities. So for raw materials, they are the major materials required to manufacture the product. So the quantities can be obtained from the flow sheet and multiplied by the operating hours per year to get the annual requirements. The price of each material is best obtained by getting quotations from potential suppliers, but in the preliminary stages of a project price can be taken from the literature. Next, for maintenance, where this item will include the cost of maintenance labor, which can be as high as the operating labor cost, and the materials including equipment spares needed for the maintenance of the plant. The annual maintenance costs for chemical plants are high. As I mentioned earlier, there is also included utilities, where these themes include power, steam, compressed air, cooling, and processed water, and effluent treatment. So the quantities required can be obtained from the energy balance and the flow sheets.
Hi, my name is Nurzati Amira. Okay, now I am going to explain on the capital cost estimation. Generally, there are 5 accepted classifications of capital cost estimates, which are usually accounted in the industry processes. Capital cost estimates are essentially to see the trend between the accuracy of an estimate and the cost of the estimate is clear. Our plan has decided to use study estimate approaches, which is also known as a major equipment or factored estimate. The major equipment were found in the process were including a reactor, compressor, distillation column, pump, and heat exchanger were utilized for the estimation. All the equipment is roughly sized, and approximate cost is determined via MACHE. However, since the approximate cost is determined in the year of 2014, therefore, Chemical Engineering Plant Cost Index (CEPC) is adopted for all inflation alteration. Utilizing the study estimates allow our plan to determine the feasibility of the project. The accuracy that we expected for this estimation is 3 to 12 relatives to the best index of 1. A firm and contractor estimate has an accuracy range of 1 and are usually this method of estimation will have a plus 6% to negative 4% accuracy. Thus, the estimation method used by our plan deviates between 3 to 12 times from the firm estimate. The determination of the major equipment found in our benzene plant is based on the process flow diagram PFD, and table 1 shows the approximate cost of major equipment in the year of 2014. Okay, as you can see in the table 1, it shows the approximate cost of equipment in 2014 of our major equipment in process, which is a reactor. The total cost for reactor is 3,655.50 cent. For compressor, the quantity is 1 and the total cost is 2,500 and 918.89%. For distillation column, the quantity is 1 as well, and the total cost is 163,883. For heater, the quantity is 1 and the total cost is 71,418.50 cent. For pump, we have two quantity, which is the feed pump and the reflux pump. For the total cost of these two pump is 88,000 and 65.65 cent. For heat exchanger, we have 6 in quantity, and the total cost is 443,214, and the total approximate cost of the equipment for our all major equipment is 1,272,175.14%. Next, estimation of purchase equipment cost. In order to convert the price of the leased equipment in the table 1, our plan use the Chemical Engineering Plant Cost Index, (CEPC), to take into account the changing economic conditions such as inflation. This is to ensure the cost estimate is accurate for the present time. The following equation has been used to calculate the prices of the equipment in 2020, which is C2 equal to C1 times by I2 over I1, where the C1 is the purchase cost in 2014, C2 is the purchase cost in 2020, I is the cost index in 2014, and the price is 576.1. While for the I2, the cost index is in 2020, and the price is 589.88 cent. Okay, the table 2 shows the approximate cost of equipment in 2020, and as you can see, the total price for reactor is 321,157.11 cent. For compressor is 2005 694.82 cent. For distillation column, the total cost is 189,520.55 cent. For the heater, the total cost is 73,126.43. While for the pump, the total pump for feed pump and reflux pump is 90,203.60 cent, and the heat exchanger for 6 quantity cost for 453,815.46, and the total approximate cost of the equipment in 2020 is 1,342,337.56 cent.
Capital investment. Various methods can be used to estimate the capital investment of plant. These include detailed item estimate, unit cost estimate, percentage of delivered equipment cost, length factors for approximation of capital investment, power factor applied to plant or capacity ratio, investment cost per unit of capacity, and turnover ratio. Okay, for the benzene plant, we have decided to proceed with percentage of delivered equipment cost method, since this method is commonly used for the study estimate approach. The accuracy is expected in the range of about plus minus 20 to 30% accurate. Okay, this is the table capital investment of the benzene plant. Okay, from the table we have the estimation, direct cost, indirect cost, and also the working capital estimation. So first I would like to explain the cost of the direct cost. Estimation the direct cost. We all know we have the total equipment cost. We got 1,342,337 hundred point 56 cents. And the estimation of the equipment installation, 47% of total equipment cost. Instrumentation and controls, 36% of total equipment cost. Piping installation, we have 68% of total equipment cost. Electrical system installation, 11% of total equipment cost. Buildings includes the service, 18% of total equipment cost. Yet improvement, 10% of total equipment cost. Service facilities installation, 70% of total equipment cost. And the last one is the land estimation cost, which is we have 5,610,000, and the total of the direct cost we got 10,442,415.21 cents. Okay, then indirect cost, the estimation in the direct cost, first the engineering and supervision, 33% of total direct cost. Construction expense, 40% of the direct cost. Legal expense, 40% of total direct cost. Contractors fee, 22 and 20 of percent of total direct cost. And the last one is contingencies, 44% of total direct cost. So total indirect cost we got 6,958,000 and 677.91 cents. And the total fixed capital investment is 70,401,000 and 93.12 cents. And the last one is the working capital, estimation of working capital, which is 89% of total equipment, which is our total equipment is 1,342,000 and 337.56 cents. And the overall and the last one is the overall total capital investment, which is some with total capital investment plus the working capital, and the total capital investment we got 19,867,948.69 cents. Okay, and then the estimation of land cost that we mentioned before, the site location for the proposed benzene plant is at Gebel Industrial Land at Kuantan, Pahang. Currently, the availability for the land is 11 acres with approximately 5,610,000 cost of the land.
Now we move on to the operation cost, where we need to have 5 things. First, FCI. FCI we got from the previous session already, which we got 17401,093.12 ringgit. For the cost of waste treatment, since there are no waste streams in our PFD diagram, so we can estimate it, hence 0 ringgit. For the cost of utilities, it is expected that the annual cost of utilities is approximately 7% of the total equipment cost. Total equipment cost also come from the previous slides in capital section. So the utility cost, we got 93963.63 ringgit. To get the cost of operator labor, first we need to estimate the number of operators required per shift, which is NOL. P is the number of processing steps, where we assume it to be 0. And NP is the number of non-particulate processing steps, where we need to find it. So to get it, pumps and vessel is not counted in the NNP evaluation. So we got 10. Hence, we got the number of operator labor per shift is 2.93. So since our plant operate for 24 hours a day, there's gonna be approximately 3 shifts per day, and there is 8 working hours per day. So a single operator need to work for 5 days per week. So this is the number of shifts per year, which is 990 shifts per year, and the number of shifts for a single operator in a year is 245 shifts for one operator per year. So after we got this, we will get the number of operators required, which is 4.04 operators. For the operating labor, we just need to multiply the number of operators required with the NOL that we got earlier, which we got estimately 12 operators. So since the minimum monthly wage in 2020 is approximately 1,200 ringgit per month, and 1,400 ringgit per year for their annual wage. So to get the labor cost, the operating labor need to multiply with the annual wage, where we got 172,800 ringgit per year. For the cost of raw material, toluene and hydrogen is our raw materials for our benzene production. So the total cost of raw material is 331,528 to 77.50. So this is the cost of manufacturing. This is the formula for cost of manufacturing, COM. So COM we got 413,239,406.7. For the COMD, which is cost of manufacture without depreciation, we got 411,499,297.4. This is the calculation. This is the amount that we need to use in the next slide. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shafiq Ashraf bin Muhammad Suhaimi. Today I would like to present to you about the plant economic feasibility. Okay, here I have been calculating on the annual cost of product material, which our product were benzene and methane, by 8,270 kg per hour and 14 kg per hour respectively. For each cost will be 7 ringgit 26 cents per kilogram, while methane 40 ringgit 31 cents per kilogram. For each sale of the both product will be calculated or be multiplied by the 24 hour and 330 days, because we want to get the yearly sale of every single product. Okay, now I will proceed to the calculation, where this result of the calculation will be used in the next formula. Okay, the first one, I will focus on the gross earning. The gross earning will be come out from the total selling price annually that I have calculated on the previous table, and then minus with the total manufacturing cost without depreciation. And then we are looking on the tax. The tax, I will assume the local tax rate as 50%, and the 50% will multiply by the result of the gross earning, and then both result of gross earning and tax will be used in the next profit. Okay, where the next profit is equal to gross earning minus to the tax. And then looking on the fixed capital investment, where it's mixing of the value of direct and also the indirect cost, where the direct is more focused on the equipment, piping installation, building, and more, where the indirect cost it's more focused on the legal expense, engineering and supervision, construction fee, and more. So looking on the working capital is produced from the 89% of total equipment cost, and then total capital investment will come out by the mixing of the total fixed capital value and work capital value and also the cost equipment. So here the first formula used is return of investment, that also known as ROI. So ROI is a measure the gain or loss generated by an investment in relation to its initial cost. This method want to measure the profitability of an investment by the company. So based on the ROI calculation result, it shown the measure the investment gain generated by 188%. So the second thing that we need to consider in the economic feasibility is payback period. So what is payback period? Payback period means the period of time that a project required to recover the money invested on it. So based on our payback period result, our company just required about only 0.61 years to recover the money that have been invested. That is almost 1 year we need to recover all the investment.
So in conclusion, equipment cost can be calculated from cost correlation form based on the vendor quotes or based on historical purchasing the data. And this correlation can be modified for increases in cost over time evaluation. And the human cost is also a function of operational pressure and materials of construction. By including of individual human costs and considering other considerations such as site construction and auxiliary service and the capital cost of chemical plant can be obtained. It has been shown that the cost of producing a chemical process depends on fixed capital expenditure, labor costs, utility costs, waste management costs, and the cost of raw materials. In most cases, the cost of raw materials is the biggest cost. Methods to evaluate these different costs were discussed.